Hello, and welcome to episode 67 of Inside the Video Store, or should we call it Inside the Horror Section, because it looks like we've kind of moved to here now, doesn't it? It's such a nice backdrop, though, isn't it? It's such a nice backdrop. How are you? How are you? I'm good. Things have been great this week. Things have been really good. The reaction to the horror section is universally euphoric. It's been lovely, especially over the weekend. A really busy Friday, Saturday. Really, really nice to see people just wandering in here, taking the time, having a sit, flicking through the watch list, debating what to watch. A couple of customers in here at once without any kind of awkwardness or hassle. It was great. So far, it's been a roaring success. But the horror section's finished. So in the meantime, what I've been doing this week is spending my time sorting out other parts of the store, because you got to think to yourself, there's 2,500, 3,000 films in here. They've come from somewhere. They've come from out there. So there's 2,500 spaces out there. So this past 3-4 days, I've been just tweaking stuff, repainting stuff, moving some fixtures, relaying a lot of DVDs and Blu-rays, changing section order, little things just to make the whole store benefit from this new space. So it's really good. It's really exciting. It's weird today because today is a Wednesday. It's my day off. So the last 4 Wednesdays I've been in here early, work, sweat pouring, that kind of thing. But today I had a day off. I had a lunch out. I relaxed. I came in here and removed a shelf. Yeah, I removed a shelf, took a shelf away. There's a first for everything. But this was the shelf that went diagonally above my head, above the counter. And it was the most redundant shelf you can ever imagine. It used to be like T to Z in the horror section, but nobody ever browsed there because it was too weird just to kind of step behind the counter and look up there. So yeah, I had to take that down. It was just, yeah. But I'm going to take you on a tour a little bit later on. We'll have a look what has changed exactly. It's not quite finished. There's one little job to do, which I'll show you later. But I'll do that tomorrow. And then I think the store is pretty much 100% in good working order. Yeah, and like I say, I am completely ecstatic with it. I couldn't be happier in any capacity. I'm a bit dusty at the moment. Right, so what do we got today? It's the usual kind of thing. I forgot my computer, so I can't go through the customer comments, your comments, in much detail. I've made a few notes. But other than that, we've got a great week of boutique releases. We've got some interesting what's in the boxes. On loans, I'm going to take directly from the horror section to show you what people have been renting in this room this week. And yeah, we've got a little tour to go through. And I've got a surprise. I've got a bewildering surprise that I received a few days ago. How odd. Right, let's crack on. Let's make sure we get this in under 40 minutes. And let's see what's come into the store as a new release. Some good stuff, some really good stuff this week. A nice spread of contemporary releases, albeit mainly family-orientated fare. First up is something that, well, I think this transcends kids, and I think more adults are probably looking forward to watching this than kids. It is Flow. Flow is out this week, both on Blu-ray and DVD. Apologies if there's a glare. I'm still getting used to the angle of that light to know which way to hold these, but I'll make sure I pronounce the title loud and clear. So yeah, that is Flow. It's an animated film, no dialogue. The situation is a flood of biblical proportions has left a cat looking for refuge with a motley crew of animals. And off they go. It is an Oscar-winning film. It won the Oscar for Best Animated Feature. Lots of people have been rabidly looking forward to it. So it'll be great to get that on the shelf this week. That's Flow. Also in this week is a Minecraft movie. I'm in the privileged position where I do not know what Minecraft is. I believe it's something to do with computers. Aside from that, I am completely unaware as to the context, content, what you do, where you go, what it's for, who it's aimed at. But here it is anyway. I've heard the movie was quite a success in the cinema, and here it is on Blu-ray and DVD, and it's rentable from your local movie rental store. Another family film, Snow White, is in this week. It's a musical, isn't it? Live action with music from Benj Pasek and Justin Paul, who did Greatest Showman, didn't they? I don't know what it's, not my forte, kids' films, unfortunately, but you'll know more than me. So if it's worth a look, you know what to tell me in the comment section. This, on first glance, looked like The Woman in Black, the great British TV movie from 1989. It is, though, The Woman in the Yard sequel. It's directed by Juan Collet-Serra. Who I forget what he's done, but still, Invisible Man, maybe. But yeah, here it is, The Woman in the Yard. It's from Blumhouse. Looks quite intriguing and quite atmospheric. Whether it is or not, I do not know. But it's in on Blu-ray anyway, The Woman in the Yard. On DVD only this week, which is a rarity, we have Toby Jones and Leslie Manville in Mr. Burton, which tells about the early years of the actor Richard Burton. Yeah, it looks really interesting, to be honest. I think it's been quite highly acclaimed. But whether it is or not, I don't know. Strange for it to come out only on DVD. Weird. But still, never mind. And finally, with the contemporary releases, is The Boxman, which looks mega, to be honest. Third Window do mainly release kind of classic, 90s and noughties Japanese fare. But this one is contemporary. This one's only from last year. It's The Boxman. It's about a man with a cardboard box over his head, wandering the streets of Tokyo. And quite frankly, what more would you need to know than that? Brilliant. Absolutely outstanding. The Boxman in this week from Third Window on Blu-ray. Nice spread. With the boutiques this week, a smattering, a quartet. First up, we have the latest edition in 88 Films Japaniki range, which is Detonation Violent Riders. We have Sonny Shiba in this, and 88 are saying leather up, and get ready for the ride of your lives in this high-octane biker movie from Toei by cult director Teruya Ishii, who directed Horrors of Malformed Men. Looks good. It's from 1975, and you can't beat a bit of Sonny Shiba, by Jove. Entering the Criterion Collection this week is this 32 short films about Glenn Gould. It's a film by Francois Girard. I haven't seen this. I don't know much about Francois Girard. It's certainly a huge void in my film watching canon. So I should really do something about it. It looks really, really interesting. Obviously a portrait rather, of the world-renowned pianist Glenn Gould. Should be interesting, that one. But yeah, that is the first time I've had this film in on any format. So that's very cool. Much anticipated, so anticipated, it's actually Spine number 182, which is quite some time away. Indicator announced this many, many years ago, but for various reasons, the release couldn't happen. Finally, everything has fallen into place, and now on Blu-ray, in a gorgeous 4K restoration, we have Carnal Knowledge. Carnal Knowledge, Mike Nichols' greatly acclaimed drama with Jack Nicholson, Candice Bergen, Art Garfunkel, and Anne Margaret. Wonderful stuff. Great addition. A few people on one of the forums I read, Blu-ray.com, have been complaining that the spine is off-center. I don't know if you can see that, but it could be off-center. It might be a whole millimeter, which, well, certainly, yeah, would give me sleepless nights. So that is Carnal Knowledge. And finally, with the new releases this week, I have World Noir, Volume 3. Volume 3. Who's seen 1 and 2? Not as many people as I hoped, but the box sets have now moved, so they're way more easily accessible. Hopefully people will dip in. I know I have a few customers going through the Colombian Noir at the moment, which is really, really nice to see. So hopefully their interest will go on to World Noir. These date from 1941 to 1947 to 1951. We've got a French one, we have a German one, we have a Swedish one. Go with Hyacinths is the Swede. The Lost One is the German film. And Not Guilty is the French film. All great artwork on every one of them. And yeah, I hope these get a new lease of life soon, because they're well worth checking out. Haven't brought my notepad in. That's a good start. Give me one sec. Yeah, so I thought we'd do on loan from the horror section, because it kind of makes sense. Now, the first, this should be a competition. Oh, actually, I've got some Blu-rays to give away. When I was doing the horror section, I had a few duplicates, stuff that have been re-released by another label, and I kept the original Blu-ray. There's no point having 2 Blu-rays of certain films. So next week, I'll just do a free-for-all, and anybody that wants a Blu-ray or one or 2, no, 1 each, then I'll read out the titles, and if you want them, you can collect them from the store. It's stuff like Blood Beast, Terror, yeah, Witchfinder General, I think, maybe The Beast in the Cellar, I don't know, but there's a few things. Anyway, so what's been renting out from the horror section? Now, the first film that rented out, can you guess what it is? Can you tell what it is yet? Well, can't say that anymore, can we? First film, it was a recommendation. As you know, it's slightly above camera, but I have a daily customer picks shelf where customers who are in the horror section can add their personal pick to the customer pick section as a recommendation. Always good to have recommendations. So I've got a line of 3 that people can put one back and put another one there whenever they're in the horror section, to kind of encourage people who may be struggling and give them ideas on what to watch. So the first film to rent out was this, The Dead. I love The Dead. It's a great zombie movie. I think it's one of the most requested, or certainly one of the most common questions in regard to horror is, what's a good zombie movie? People love zombie movies. And, you know, obviously you've got the usual go-to zombie movie like the George Romero films. But it's always good to have a lesser-known one up your sleeve. And this is mine. The Dead and its sequel, The Dead 2, I think are really, really good fun. So I was really pleased to see that going out to one of my customers this week. So, yeah, The Dead went out on loan. Now, this was a box set that had been behind the counter for goodness knows how long. And I don't think anyone had, maybe one person had rented it because they asked for the film by title. But because the box sets are now in here, customers can just go, yep, I'll have a bit of that. And there we go. Now, this was from, I think Mark took this, yeah. He fancied a bit of The Invisible Man. I mean, these Universal classics are just timeless. So I was really, really pleased to see The Invisible Man going out. I gave him the first two sequels, which is The Invisible Man Returns and The Invisible Woman, I think. So he's got a threesome to get his teeth around this week, so to speak. And while this is out on loan, someone else came in a few days later and fancied a bit of The Invisible Man, so they took the DVD of it as well. So that's terrific. 2 copies of The Invisible Man out on loan. Love to see these old classic black and white Universal horrors going out. It's so good. One film, now again, this falls in line to what I was saying last week about my sequel habit. I think, just to cut a long story short, because of the shortage of space in the horror section of old, I used to bundle sequels. So, for example, It's Alive would be the only box you would see on the shelf. You would not see the cases for It's Alive 2 and It's Alive 3, because they would be inside the box for It's Alive 1. So to me, I know my system. I know I have It's Alive 2 and 3. They're in the same box. But now, because we got the room, I can have the boxes for It's Alive 3 and It's Alive 2 out on the shelf, which is fantastic. Now, this has had a massive effect on people browsing because they can see every horror film that's in stock, which is brilliant. So what someone came for the first time on Saturday morning. It's great to see them, a 25-minute drive, and they rented a film that's never been out on loan before because I'd never had the box out on loan. I've never had the box on the shelf. Now, it may be a choice they might regret, but they rented The Mangler 2, Graduation Day. This is a terrible film, but it's a film I love dearly because it's so terrible. But it's a shockingly awful film. The third one, Mangler 3 Reborn, is marginally better because you got Reggie Bannister in there. But Mangler 2 is a shocker. They knew that. They knew what they're letting themselves in for. So we'll see. But if completists, you've got to be a completist. They also rented the first Mangler as well, which I have an audio commentary on with Matthew Bedrevich. So I hope they get time to listen to that. I did an audio commentary on Sunday, which was great. Film coming from 88 Films later this year, another full moon film, so that's exciting. And I'm just starting commentary work on another one today, which I'm taping next Sunday. Had to ask for an extension on that, which is a bit naughty. But yeah, so that's really, really cool. And I've just been sent, just before I started rolling, the front cover of my Gary Graver book, which is really, really exciting. Well, it's the second draft of the front cover. They sent the first draft of the front cover on Monday, and it was heinous. It was offensive to the eyes. So I said, no, thank you. So they've redrafted that and redone it, and it looks substantially better. Moving on, Love Object. Love Object went out on loan. That's a great film. Have you seen that? If you like a good sex doll horror film, I heartily recommend it. Love Object. Whoa. Yeah, it's good fun. It's good fun. Again, this is a horror film that has not been out for years and years and years and years. I have recommended it a few times, both on social media, and I think I mentioned it here once or twice. But it's great fun. It's really, really good. Yeah, a story of Kenneth, who begins a relationship with a sex doll called Nikki. It's fascinating. It's a great film. Lovely, sick and twisted. That's what we like. So great to see Love Object going on loan. One I put up on the Pix shelf last week. It's now back in stock. But someone saw it on the Pix shelf and someone said, "Oh, I've never heard of that, but I fancy it." It was a film called Home Movie, which is there. I love a bit of found footage, unapologetically, and customer rented that. Home Movie. I love this film. I find it really freaky and really unsettling. But like I say, found footage isn't for everyone. I understand that, but I do like it. I'm a big fan. And I think that this is certainly one of the better ones. So it's Home Movie going out on loan. Likewise, this one, The Last Broadcast. I think that's a great found footage film. And it's really, really cool to see that going out on loan as well. Last broadcast, fantastic. What's next? Oh yeah, who was in renting that? I forget. But it's a weird one, and it may be because the director. Oh, they're out of alphabetical order. I'll have to check that. It may be because the director is so prolific at the moment, and you know who I'm going to say. It's Luca Guadagnino, and it's Suspiria. Suspiria, the remake, probably rents more than Suspiria, the original, by Argento. Surprising, you might say. But it's like the person that took this, a lovely, lovely person. They're only on the second visit. But I was cursing when they picked it. I said, "Oh, I still haven't seen this. I still haven't seen this. You'll have to convince me," I said. And I said, "Oh, I like Luca Guadagnino, so I'm looking forward to it." I said, "But, for me, it's just the original is so good, I'm struggling to get enthusiastic about this remake." And they said, "I didn't know there was an original." So it's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing. People who are fans of Luca Guadagnino, obviously from his most recent film Queer, as well as Call Me by Your Name, yeah, they'll go for it, but they might not be aware of Argento's film, which is staggering because Suspiria is probably in my top 10 of all time. Next up, I hope this customer. I said to them yesterday. I said, "I hope this means you're going to watch the 5 sequels." But yeah, they rented Lake Placid, which hasn't been out for decades. Great to see it going out. Lake Placid is great fun, isn't it? I don't know if you remember it, but I loved it. I saw it a few times when it came out. It's brilliant. But now, of course, we're in sequel heaven. We have Lake Placid 2, Lake Placid 3, Lake Placid the final chapter, Lake Placid versus Anaconda, and Lake Placid Legacy. All out on the shelf, represented. That's what we want. We like that. We like representation. We don't like films hidden away. And that is definitely the best thing about this section. So yeah, that's that. And finally, our good friend Matthew was in renting a movie he's never seen before. And that's the beauty. I think one thing about this place is there's no shame in having not seen something, because I think that people do have that. Sometimes when you're in conversations with people, they're so horrified that you haven't seen Star Wars. I haven't seen Star Wars. Shame on you. And there's a certain amount of just that attitude, really. And there's no shame in not having got around to films. We've all got a limited amount of time, and we all have different priorities. We should all gravitate to what we feel we want to watch. But yeah, Matt hadn't seen Friday the 13th before, so it's cool. I gave him the sequel as well. I hope he likes it. It is a good slasher movie. I prefer the sequels, as I would do. But yeah, it's nice to see someone having their first experience of Friday the 13th. So that's it. That's on loan. Great, isn't it? Such a real mix of horror films going out on loan. I love it. I love it. Right, we best crack on because Tempest Future. And what's in the box? There's a box missing. Oh, left. See, that's the problem, you see. When you move the desk, you forget to bring things in. Might have to do 50-50, I think. Might have to do 50-50. Anyway, for me, this is the most exciting new release, or what's in the box, of the week. I love ordering from TerraVision because they release really exciting stuff. However, they do take the time. I think I have 5 pre-orders at the moment with TerraVision, which is a lot. Essentially, it's you've paid them 300 quid, well, 250 for stuff that you might not receive for a couple of months. Not a great fan of that, but I understand they need to know what the demand is, so I'm happy to bend on my personal policy. But yeah, there's great stuff coming out. Obviously, Gator Bait 1 and 2. Arbor Day is coming out. A few more, quite a lot more to be honest, but good stuff. Oh, the David A. Pryor film, Sledgehammer, is coming out in a really great release. And when they ship them, it's not a Vinegar Syndrome shipping kind of 3-day thing. It's a 3 weeks thing, but that's fine. Everything has arrived eventually with no hassle. And this is the latest. It's the first in their multi-volume series. They're going to release it. I think Brad said they got about 5 or 6 penciled in for release already. It is Shoestring Slashers. That's Shoestring Slashers. Low budget, often shot on video, often late 80s, early 90s. That type of horror movies. Not everyone's cup of tea by any means. But there's some interesting stuff here that has not got or hasn't received in the past particularly great reviews, particularly great distribution. And they're all, of course, appearing on Blu-ray for the very first time. So in this first debut set of Shoestring Classics, we have Phantom Brother, which looks great. That's from 1988. Freshly remastered from the 1-inch master tape. We have a Basement Jack, which did actually get a DVD release over here not so long ago. That's about a serial killer. I think Tiffany Shepis is in that film as well. And finally, we have Beware. Beware, a weekend getaway, an unfamiliar town. The perfect combination for terror. Beware, yeah. Self-released from the director, had a very short lifespan, and is considered a lost film. Amazing. So that's great. That's great. But yeah, these are very lo-fi, very low budget, but definitely something I'm keen to have in store. So that's great. That's Shoestring Slashers. That's the first What's in the Box. The next What's in the Box is a peculiar one. It's on Spanish Blu-ray. It's released as Lucifer, aka Fear No Evil. You will probably know it as Fear No Evil. 1981. It appeared on a list. I forget what list it was, which prompted me to pick it up. It's Frank LaLoggia's film. Frank LaLoggia, who went on to make The Woman in White. It's not a great film. It's not a great film. I watched it yesterday morning, and it's just a weird fusion of Antichrist stuff. There's zombies in it at the behest of the studio. There's a shower scene, a college boys' shower scene, which is it out homoeroticizes A Nightmare on Elm Street 2. It's you won't believe the shower scene, and it's just absolutely crazy. For no apparent reason as well. It's like, yeah, that wouldn't be shot today. It's a weird one. Yeah, it's not particularly good, but it's one of those compelling films that you just feel yourself shaking your head and thinking, what on earth were they thinking? The soundtrack is unbelievable. David Byrne, Sex Pistols, Patti Smith, I think, is on it as well. Brilliant soundtrack, and no wonder they can't get a Blu-ray release over here. They'd never get the rights. But yeah, Lucifer, aka Fear No Evil, is here on Blu-ray. Vinegar Syndrome released this a while back. I wasn't going to pay 40 quid for a copy of Daryl on 4K UHD, so here's the Blu-ray, courtesy of Fabulous Films, the legendary mid-90s sci-fi. Another one from Paul, or may have been his wife, Kath. Didn't have this. Patrick Swayze. Steel Dawn. Didn't have it. There we go. Nice little addition from Anchor Bay. So glad to add that to the library. What was the other Patrick Swayze film I was thinking of? Steel something. I forget. Something around that part of the store, I think. Anyway, this was another recommendation Another customer request. I forget who asked for it. Was it Mark? I think it was Mark. Fritz Lang. You Only Live Once. A prequel to the James Bond film. No, it's not. It's a Fritz Lang film, like Fritz Lang noir, early noir, very early noir, from 1937. That looks great. You Only Live Once with Henry Fonda and Sylvia Sidney. If you follow my social media, you may be aware that I got a lovely email off Alex Cox at the weekend, just to say that he caught wind of what's been happening at Snips in the last few years, and he made the comment that this could be the Bevington's finest hour. And of course, Bevington is the village that Snips is in, and Alex Cox was born in Bevington. So it was very kind of him to say that. And also, I got in The Winner, which is something that I've been missing for quite some time. It's not Alex Cox's greatest film, but it's an interesting one. It's a typically post-Tarantino 90s film with a sprawling cast of indie superstars: Michael Madsen, Vincent D'Onofrio, Delroy Lindo, Rebecca De Mornay, Billy Bob Thornton, etc., etc. But still, haven't seen it in a long time. And this was another request this week. I think Lot asked for this. Something I didn't have. I love Neil Simon. I love Neil Simon scripts, but for some reason didn't have this in stock. It's Robert Redford, and it's Jane Fonda in Barefoot in the Park. Great. Looking forward to that one. Cool. Righty-ho. I think we best go for a wander and see what's changed, shall we? Okie dokie, here we go. So, horror section, as you know, bright light. Yeah, so World Cinema. World Cinema is my crowning achievement this week. As you know, this fixture on the right here used to be the horror section. But last week, when I removed that wall, this was an empty horror section, and I had to cut it down, so I had to completely break it down into pieces, then reassemble it with the shelves shortened by about 20 centimeters, paint it, and then obviously lay it out as part of World Cinema. World Cinema will be getting a lovely flashing neon sign above it, which would be great. And also, you might be able to see, if you're a regular customer, that I've also taken World Cinema down by 2 shelves. So those first 2 fixtures are right up to the ceiling, but now they've been taken down to like a good level, which just makes sense. Just makes sense. So that's far better than it was. Loads of titles are face on, which they should be. And yeah, just absolutely over the moon with it. I'll spin it around in a second. We'll have a little look. But yeah, I think that's absolutely fantastic. Opposite, you can see that we now have a non-horror box set section, which is great. All the classics are there. Goes into making a really cool corridor that I think is, yeah, just really, really good. Let me just take this off the stand. You know, you can really see everything there. You can hold it, you can touch it, you can really get into these, decide what you want, cherry pick from each box set, and it just makes a lot of sense. So I'm really pleased with the way that is. But for me, World Cinema is the crowning achievement because it just looks fantastic. And when the white neon sign comes in tomorrow to match the horror section, I think it will look absolutely fantastic. So I'm absolutely over the moon with that, beyond belief. I think it looks brilliant. And of course, the scope for the next few years is huge. Absolutely thrilled. Yeah, so the shelf I took down is the one that went diagonally from there over to there. And it was just a little bit crazy. Just a little bit crazy. So just this shelf now, which is empty, I'm going to stick Mark Polonia's films on there and also Seduction Cinema. I'm going to paint it black as well, so it fits in with the rest of the store back there. Now, if you look down here, one thing has moved again. Yes, Queer Cinema has moved again. Sorry. But I had to. It just wasn't working by the door. I liked the idea that that was the last sign that you saw as you left the store, but it just wasn't conducive to browsing. And yes, maybe here isn't conducive to browsing, but I think it's better. And there's more room. There's way more room. There's 4 whole shelves. I'm only taking up 3, and we've got loads of face-on titles as well. You know, it just makes a lot of sense. You know, the scope is there for expansion, and yeah, I just love it. I think it's the right place for it. So yeah, that's where the British horror was, and of course the British horror is now integrated into the main horror section down there. What could I put next to Queer Cinema? Yes, you know, David Okoto. David Okoto has always been here, but now he's kind of spread out a bit, and he's taken up 3 shelves. I love Okoto. I spoke about him on the newest commentary I did for 88 Films. So if you want to know why, then I recommend checking out that when it comes out later this year. But he's a great filmmaker, underrated. He makes some really cool films, like, well, maybe not 1313 Boy Crazies. Okay, bad example. But Shriek is one of the greatest full moon films, post 98, in my opinion. It's great fun. So yeah, that's been done. So from here down to that back door, we are done. We're set. And of course, we've got the VHS back there as well, as you know. Oh, no, you don't know, do you? But yeah, so they're great. People can come and browse those if they want and help themselves. So that is that. Now, what else have we done? Oh, yeah. I have moved Arrow, because on this side here was... Do we need lights on? Those should be all right, shouldn't I? This was the 88 Italian collection that has now moved, and taking it up is Arrow. So Arrow, it just makes sense. Arrow are now on this side, and they are taking up all of that side. Just makes sense. You know, logic plays a huge role. I really do think so. Eureka have their own sign for the very first time, because they are taking up an entire fixture from top to bottom with the Masters of Cinema collection, which is great. There we go. And see, to me, this is all about logic, and to see great sections now spread out to take up an entire space, it just makes sense. Like here, Criterion and Indicator on top of each other like they always have been, but they're taking up the entire shelf, left to right, which just makes sense. No interruptions, nothing else getting in the way. Just Criterion and Indicator lined up, lots of face-on titles again, because that's the way we like it. And it looks brilliant. That's the first time I've had Indicator titles face-on that haven't been box sets, and it just... yeah, it revolutionizes it. I'm so happy. So that's that change. Nothing changed with indie, nothing changed with classic actors. This has changed. If you browse the generic films, kind of post-millennium films, 2014 to modern day, the usual, the easily attainable stuff, box office films, you will know that for some idiotic reason, I funneled these right into that corner, and you couldn't reach them. So when someone asked for, say, I don't know, Lawless, I had to go pull out about 30 films, stick my hand into that left-hand corner, and try and drag it out. Well, with the Queer Cinema section now moving from that bottom shelf, it means I don't have to do that. So it means every film here is way more accessible. So that just made a lot of sense. And I think that's about it. So yeah, very happy. I've repainted that end section there. So all I have left to do now is just this empty shelf. Which had Troma and Shameless on one side, and on the other side it had Arrow Video. So I just need to move around all my A to Zs, combine them all, because there's lots of titles flat on top that aren't really haven't gone home. Like if you look here, like Identity, Help, House Sitter, haven't gone home. Cold and Night hasn't got a home. So all of these titles, there's quite a few, need integrating into the A to Z. So that's my final job tomorrow. But as it stands, things are pretty much done. Looks good, doesn't it? Really does look good. It flows. It flows. There's a real flow to the whole store. So yeah, really pleased. A couple of things left. Oh, a couple of comments. Thank you. I've read through the comments, mainly just people being very, very polite and congratulatory. So thank you if you've commented. It really does mean the world to hear from you. Thank you very much indeed. Rob said he fancied watching paint dry. So he watched my video because it was watching paint dry on the, yeah, very funny. And also Matt says, have you ever considered parting with your CDs and converting that space to DVDs and Blu-rays? Matt, the Blu-rays and the DVDs will go before the CD goes. The CDs are essential for me to get through every day. Every day has to be 9 hours of music. Need that. CDs are staying right where they are. Oof, God, terrible thing to say. But generally, thank you very much for all commenting. And please comment more with any questions, queries, suggestions, and other things like that. One quick thing, which you won't believe. You will not believe this. I had a customer, as I often do, come in and say, look, I've got the tip with my collection. Do you want me to drop them off to you? Are they any good? And to be honest, the last few months, because I've had this job coming up, the last few months I said no. Because I've got everything sorted in the back. Everything's tidy. And I didn't want clutter or mess or anything like that. You know, people are very kind donating stuff, but sometimes the way they keep them isn't great, and you find dust and bits and plastic and stuff going everywhere, and you think, oh. Anyway, a nice lady came in. She said, I've got them in the car. Oh, I've got them in the car. Okay, because you've got them in the car, bring them in. It's only 2 bin bags. 2 bin bags. Oh. So she came in with 2 bin bags. And I stuck them in the back. I didn't even open them because I thought, I'm not going to look. Anyway, I had a look a couple of days ago because I was moving them, wanted to move them to a different place. This is 1 bin bag. So I'm like, right, what? Mrs. Brown's boys, right, come on, get it over and done with. Off to the tip. Off to the tip. With a sealed Stanley Kubrick box set. Off to the tip. People, there's not so queer as folk, as they say. What can we do? What can we do? I think I have all of these on Blu-ray. That's the thing. And if I upgrade Kubrick at any point, it'll be to 4K HD, so I might give that away. Because what can you do? But yeah, because, you know, I think when I do upgrade Kubrick, it will be to 4K UHD. Who does that? Who throws away a sealed 4K UHD of 2001: A Space Odyssey? Bowie. Who does that? Go on the tip with a sealed 4K. I mean, I'm not going to put on eBay if it was that mentality. You know, I'm not Video Odyssey. But you know, a sealed 4K UHD of 2001 going to the tip. nuts. So that will go straight into my Kubrick section. But it's wild, isn't it? I mean, holy cow. I must admit, the rest of it isn't that, well, young master. I mean, this is out of print. This is out of print. From 88 Films. Special edition Blu-ray. Sealed. What's going on in the world? But yeah, most of the other stuff isn't, the same level of quality as that. But even so, I mean, what gives? Yeah, bit of Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, etc., etc. But that is just in all my years of taking donations from people to use the cases and things like that, I have never known anything like that to get handed in that's on its way to be incinerated. Wild, pretty crazy. Just wanted to share with you that. But yeah, I'll give the Kubrick set away as long as you're not allowed to put it on eBay. I'll be checking eBay, and if anyone who wins that puts that on eBay, I'll be after you. I'll tell you. But yeah, crazy. Save physical media, people. Don't give anything away. Don't keep hold of it, because whatever you have and you give away, you'll regret it in 10 years' time, because you won't be able to access a fraction of it. A fraction. Right, that's enough for me anyway. And thank you very much for watching this week. And I will see you in 7 days' time.